Hello there, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into something you use literally every single day, probably without a second thought: the letters of our alphabet. We're going to uncover this incredible 4,000-year-old story that connects the way we write in English with how people write in, for example, Catalan.
So just take a look at these two senses. One's English, the other's Catalan. Now, the languages are different, the sounds are a bit different, but the meaning is the same. But what's really wild is that the letters themselves, the actual shapes we use to build the words, are identical. How is that even possible? Why would two completely different languages, separated by hundreds of miles, use the exact same secret code to write?
Well, it turns out the answer lies in one single ancient story. A story of a brilliant idea and how it spread across the world, connecting most of the writing we see today back to one single spark of genius. Okay, let's get into it. To really understand why the alphabet was such a complete game changer, you have to imagine a very different world. We've got to rewind the clock a few thousand years, to a time when writing was definitely not for everybody. You see, before the alphabet, writing was basically a secret code, and only a tiny elite group knew how to crack it. It was this super specialized skill that took years and years of training, which meant that regular people couldn't read or write. Literacy was a tool for scribes, for royalty, for the powerful.
I mean, just look at these. Writing systems like Egyptian hieroglyphs or Mesopotamian cuneiform were unbelievably complex. We're not talking about learning 26 letters here. We're talking about memorizing thousands of these little intricate symbols.
And here's the key thing. In these systems, one symbol could mean a whole word or maybe a syllable, or sometimes just a general idea. It made writing this massive, complicated puzzle. It was a huge barrier to entry for the average person. And that was the problem that a brand new idea was about to solve.
So, where did this breakthrough come from? You might think it came from a king or a powerful priest, but nope. The best guess is that it came from Semitic-speaking miners, workers, really, out in the Sinai Peninsula about 4,000 years ago. This timeline really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, complex writing like cuneiform and hieroglyphs had been around for well over 1,000 years. So the invention of this Proto-Sinaitic script wasn't just another step, it was a radical leap in a totally new direction.
And that brilliant idea is called the acrophonic principle. Now, that sounds fancy, but I promise it's something you already know. It's the A is for apple rule we all learned as kids. You take a picture of something, but instead of that picture meaning the whole thing, you just use it for the very first sound of that thing's name. Simple, right? But genius. Let's watch how it actually worked. So an Egyptian scribe would see this picture, this hieroglyph, and to them it meant tip, their word for head. The picture represented the whole object. But those Semitic-speaking workers we mentioned, they had a different word for head. Their word was Rosh. So they looked at that same picture of a head, but they, of course, thought of their own word for it. And here it is. This is the big leap. They decided that this little drawing of a head wasn't going to stand for the whole word head anymore. No, it was just going to stand for the first sound of their word for head, Rosh. Just the sound. A picture of a thing became a symbol for a single sound. And just like that, poof, the alphabet was born.
But this was just a small local invention. It could have just faded away in the desert. But thanks to some of the greatest sailors and traders in history, this idea was about to go viral, ancient world style.
And the impact was absolutely revolutionary. As archaeologist Glenn Schwartz says, this new system was so much simpler, we're talking just a couple dozen symbols to learn instead of thousands, that it basically blew the doors of literacy wide open for everyone. It was a communication revolution. So to really see how this all happened, let's just follow the journey of one single letter, our good old letter A. It all starts right here with a simple drawing of an ox head. In Semitic languages, the word for ox was aleph, so they used this picture for the first sound of that word. Next up, the Phoenicians. These guys were master traders, sailing all over the place. And they were practical. They didn't need a perfect drawing of an ox to keep their records. They needed something fast and easy. So they simplified that ox head into this clean, abstract symbol you see here. Now, the Phoenicians traded with everybody, including the Greeks, who saw this system and thought, hey, this is pretty cool. They borrowed it, but they made a critical upgrade. The Greek language needed vowels, so they took that aleph symbol, flipped it on its side, and gave it a new job. It now stood for the ah sound. It became their letter alpha. From the Greeks, the alphabet made its way to the Romans. They tweaked the shape a little, solidified it, and there you have it, the letter A. The very same A on your screen right now. It's an unbroken chain, from an ox head to a Phoenician trade ledger to Greek poetry to the Roman Empire and right to us. By the way, that little upgrade the Greeks made, adding letters for vowels, was absolutely huge. The original Phoenician system is what we call an abjad. It only had letters for consonants, and you just had to kind of know which vowels to fill in. The Greeks created the first true alphabet by making vowels just as important as consonants, which made writing way more precise. And all of this history brings our incredible story full circle, right back to that first question we asked about English in Catalan. What we have here is a direct family tree. That first script in the Sinai inspires the Phoenician one, the Phoenicians give it to the Greeks add vowels and pass it to the Romans, and the Romans, well, the Roman Empire spread their Latin alphabet all across Europe. It's the direct ancestor of the script used to write English, Catalan, French, German, Spanish, hundreds and hundreds of languages. So now, when we look back at our first slide, it all makes sense, right? We've solved the mystery. The reason an English speaker and a Catalan speaker use the same set of letters isn't some crazy coincidence. They are two completely different languages, but they're writing with the letters of one ancient family. It's like a shared family heirloom, passed down for 4,000 years, from a small group of miners through traders, philosophers, and emperors, all the way to our keyboards today. Just think about that for a second. Every time you type a message or read a book, you're using a piece of technology that is 4 millennia old. It's a system so elegant, so powerful, that it has survived empires and powered everything from stone tablets to the internet. It really makes you wonder, what could possibly be next?